Only through the freedom of their teachers could the children remain free. Margaret Haley, 1899. Margaret Haley began teaching at age 16 to help with her family's financial troubles. She taught at local country schools and continued her own education at teacher training institutes. In 1883, Haley moved to Chicago. She taught 6th grade at an elementary school in the Stockyards District, one of the poorest communities in the city. Over the next 16 years, Margaret Haley observed the poverty of the community in which she taught. She decided that it was up to the teachers to fight for a change in the schools and in the society. Margaret Haley broke barriers in public education by giving teachers a voice and redefining the role of the teacher. Miss Haley's hair is rather gray now. Her short, tense, alert figure vibrates with the seasoned endurance of the veteran. Her blue eyes dart quick, penetrating glances at you, then resume their hard surface of calculation and concealment. Her mouth is set in lines that tell the story of long, bitter fights in which it was a test of manliness as well as of womanliness to be able to survive to the finish. You cannot acquire a mouth of that kind if you are a quitter. William Hard, 1907. In 1897, Haley joined the Chicago Teachers Federation. The CTF was different from other teacher associations because it was dominated by female teachers rather than male administrators. Haley became the district vice president of the CTF in 1900. She soon gave up teaching for full-time union work. Under the leadership of Margaret Haley, the CTF fought for higher salaries, better school conditions, and independence for teachers. In Haley's words, the union fought for the teacher to call her soul her own. One action Haley led was the CTF's lawsuit when the Chicago Board of Education did not give grade school teachers the pay raise they were promised. She discovered that many of the city's corporations were not paying taxes that were needed to fund schools. The lawsuit broke barriers because it was a great success that not only gave teachers their promised raise, but also forced corporations to take responsibility and pay the taxes needed to support public schools. In 1902, Margaret Haley led the CTF to join the Chicago Federation of Labor. This helped the CTF gain political power because they could influence the opinions of the men in the CFL, all of whom could legally vote at a time when women could not. Haley believed that women needed the right to vote because teachers could not teach their students to exercise their democratic right unless these teachers had the right to vote themselves. The women of the CTF broke barriers by joining forces with the 200,000 men in the CFL. The CTF's influence in Chicago's community grew. Haley also fought for women teachers' rights in the National Education Association. In 1901, she broke barriers by becoming the first woman and first elementary school teacher to speak at a public forum of the NEA. In 1904, she gave a speech at the NEA convention in St. Louis, Missouri. In this notorious speech, called Why Teachers Should Organize, Haley discussed democracy, equality, citizenship, and the importance of teachers' professionalism. The responsibility for changing existing conditions so as to make it possible for the public school to do its work rests with the people, the whole people. Margaret Haley, Why Teachers Should Organize. In 1916, the CTF became a charter local of the American Federation of Teachers. The AFT was founded in Chicago by a small group of teachers, including Margaret Haley. The teachers that founded the AFT believed that their profession needed a national organization to speak for teachers and represent their interests. The winning wave has carried Margaret Haley to a crest of political power never before reached by an American woman, or even by an Irish American woman. William Hard, 1907. Haley continued to lead the CTF until the mid-1930s, when she began devoting most of her time to writing her autobiography, Battleground, which she hoped would inspire faith in the teachers' union movement. She died on January 5, 1939, at the age of 77. It was absolutely wonderful the courage that woman had, and the insight into human nature and human affairs. She was absolutely fearless because she was absolutely honest and had always been. Nobody could find anything by which to stop her in any manner. Mr. I.T. Greenacre, 1939. Margaret Haley's legacy lives on in present-day teacher unions across the country. Teachers, students, and community members fight for their schools by protesting and making their opinions heard. Many supporters of these organizations believe in the same values that Haley fought for.
I have learned that we don't teach a subject. We teach the most perfect gift a parent has to send us. We teach and we love your children. Thank you.
Margaret Haley broke barriers in public education by giving teachers a voice and redefining the role of the teacher. I never wanted to fight. When I look back over my 75 years of life, 40 of them spent on hectic battlefronts of the unending war, I realize that, like all crusaders, I have stormed in where kings and courtiers fear to tread. I have beaten my fists and sometimes my head against the walls of power and privilege. I have railed at mayors, at governors and legislators, at presidents of great universities. I have banged machine guns in defense of certain basic principles in which I believed and continue to believe. For them, I have fought without fear and without favor, but within my own soul, I know that I have never sought a battle for its own sake, although I have never evaded one when it was forced upon me. Margaret Haley, Battleground.